First, I would like to say prayers for Halliburton. Sorry about that. Anyway, let's get to the formalities. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are, whatever time it is for you right now. Just know that you're here with the Raptors freak, and to the point, we're bringing you Game 7 reaction coverage after the 2025 NBA Championship. From To the Point, you guys know what to do. Find us Apple, Amazon, Spotify, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. Thanks, Arturus. Go down there, click subscribe, click like if you enjoy this. Let me know in the comments, and I'll let my man introduce himself.
What's up, everybody? It's Lex, Raptorsfreak, every morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Check it out. We'll be on tomorrow live in the morning, probably talking a lot about this championship game tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, Lex, man, it was a wild series, but we both did say OKC is gonna win, and we did say probably in seven. So I think we can own that. But Lex, speaking of OKC winning, I guess the Thunder goes boom. So I gotta ask you, why did they win?
Well, I think that they were in some ways lucky, but it's really kind of just the excellence of SGA in a lot of ways. There was some really good defensive stuff. Lou Dort was amazing with the offensive rebounds and just being a general pest. Like that one steal he got from McConnell was huge.
Yep.
Um, Caruso, really, really, really smart player. You got to give a lot of credit to Sam Presti for
Oh,
bringing in Caruso and Hartenstein. Those were that was really smart building blocks to get things right. I think that you got to give a lot of credit to SGA for being a very, very mature young leader. I think that's the only way a young crew like this wins the championship like this is that their figurehead guy is just a really, really carries himself so well, and he really understands. He has a maturity beyond his age, honestly, and he's a really good leader for that team, honestly. So, and I got to give a little bit of credit to Chet. His block shots were really key tonight, really, really key tonight for sure. So. Yeah, it was an interesting game. The home crowd helped too, and there was some funny stuff with the referees at some point, right around where Carlisle was blowing up. There was
yeah.
a little bit of weird stuff going on with some of the calls there, but it is what it is. This is the NBA, and it was even with the Thunder winning and there was still a chance the Pacers could do something. Like it was down 12 with a
Yeah.
certain amount of minutes still left where it's not like the game is boring to the point where it's like, oh no, there was so many ties, lead changes, so much back and forth, and valiant effort by the Pacers. Kudos to them for amazing year. In some ways they had a real accomplishment this year too, but yeah, it's OKC, baby. 2025 NBA champions. Wow.
Yeah. It
Wow,
was.
two more Canadians become NBA champions, and that's our guy Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and Luguentz Dort.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I figure OKC really won because when you look at like you said, building blocks, when they start, and Sam Presti, when they started, they got to thank Paul George. They should give him an honorary ring for that
Yeah,
trade to get all those picks,
for
right?
sure.
And then when you got the MVP, the scoring champ, the Western Conference MVP,
Yeah,
now you got the Finals MVP, and he got a Larry
yeah.
OB trophy, right? I think when you got someone like that who
It
is,
says a lot. There's only four guys that have done that, and they're like
yep,
Shaq and Michael Jordan and
yep,
SGA that have gotten all those awards in the same year.
yep. Michael Jordan
Scoring
added
scoring
All-Star
champion.
MVP, but anyway,
Yeah,
that year, but and
yeah.
defensive player. But anyway, but that's neither here nor there. I think they came together as a great team. The way they were playing, it's like they said at the end, very unselfish basketball. No one can deny that, right? They were all about each other on the team. Everybody was right there for each other. Everybody was supporting each other, and I think just the way they glued and they gelled, I think that really made them a good team. Also, on the other hand, I do think the same kind of idea for when it came to the Indiana Pacers. Yes, they did acquire Pascal, right? Who is a
Mhm.
former champion, our champion, right? But they did come together as a good team, right? Too bad they had to lose their superstar in the first quarter. but they did build a culture again, thanks to Paul George for getting all of that. But I thought that was great to see them. Now, what are your thoughts on why did the Pacers lose the championship?
Well, I mean, it was going to be a tough chance to get there anyway. Like
Yep.
they had to have a lot of things go right. They weren't the favorite to win tonight.
No.
And they needed a lot of things to go right. And it looked like things were going all right from the start with Tyrese out there and hitting some very long threes and being involved. And then sadly in the first quarter he went down and had to leave. And there's two ways you can go. You can get emotional about it, like the Pacers did, and kind of get out of your game and not step up and have somebody step up. Because, like, this is the weird, ironic thing, Brian. This final game kind of like expose the depth on the Pacers in a certain way that's weird. They had good depth, and they got this whole way with a 10-man rotation and keeping guys fresh and stuff like that. But the depth in next man up is not always just about having the next body that can play suitable rotation minutes. It's about the next guy who can step up and be that clutch guy,
Yep.
that guy that'll carry you when the guy leaves. And Mathurin, a credit to him as far as like trying. He was really, man, he did a lot of stuff in the second half to try and get them there, Benedict. But I'm sad that Siakam kind of did one of his disappearing acts again. Like he
In
did
the
it
second half,
he
yeah.
did for the Raptors. Yeah, for the Raptors in some ways. And I mean, I can't get mad at him or anything. It's like in some ways I was really just hoping, when Halliburton went out, I was like, all right, now Pascal, this is your time. This is your chance to just go off and win this game, and there will be no denying that you are the MVP if you win this game with Halliburton out. Alas, I don't know if they went away from Siakam or what happened with Siakam, but they just didn't get to Siakam, and he ended up with just 16 points. Benedict was trying to carry TJ. That whole stretch where TJ was the only guy
Ah,
scoring, that was really bad, really, really bad. The Thunder did a good job of getting the Pacers off of their game, and they were too shook about Halliburton. They were too shook about him. That in some ways, this like that tests the mettle of the team is like, well, are you going to man up now because your guy's out and do it for him? Or are you going to just, kind of go through the motions of the game? It's tough all around. I get it. And where was Obi Toppin tonight? I mean, seriously, this guy
he
didn't
was
do
on a
nothing
milk
tonight to
carton.
help them.
His
And
picture was on a
yeah, it
milk
was
carton.
bad. It was bad. They needed him the most tonight. And it's too bad. It's too bad because this run was glorious and amazing. They were underdogs. They absolutely wreaked havoc on the Eastern Conference playoffs this year, and I was totally here for it. So kudos to those guys, man. I
Yeah,
love
man.
you, Pacers. You guys were awesome, man. I was rooting hard for y'all. But you know what? I can't be mad, and I do truly feel like the Thunder deserve to win the championship. And you know what? I can already hear the stupid stuff people are going to say because Tyrese got hurt. Listen, let's stop all this. The playoffs are a war of attrition, and people get hurt, and there's none of this like asterisk kind of BS that people always bring around because of injuries in the playoffs. This has been a common thing throughout the whole history of the NBA that people get hurt, and sometimes you have key players out in playoff series.
Yep.
So, yeah, but once again, congratulations to the Thunder, and wow, they did it very, very early, and there's opportunities for a lot of these guys that just won a championship tonight to get more rings down the road. We'll have to see.
Well,
So,
see, I think the Pacers lost because, well, the catalyst obviously, but not the reason. The catalyst was Halliburton getting injured. But even after he got
sure,
injured, they were still hanging in by like anywhere from 3 to 5 points, right?
yeah,
It was a very close
yeah,
game. But in the second half, they faded. They didn't score a bucket until 7:17 left in the third quarter,
yeah.
right? And Pascal was non-existent. Obi Toppin was non-existent for the second half. No offense to TJ McConnell, but if that's the guy you're relying on, that's
Yeah,
something about your team, right?
he was the only guy who could create
Yeah,
anything. It's really
and
weird,
and
man.
they
I don't
were,
I don't know why they weren't throwing it to Pascal and letting him try to do stuff, but man, they couldn't create anything on offense.
but back to
You're
what you
right.
said about like You can already see, and we both know what's going to happen about people saying, well, the only reason they won was because Halliburton got injured, which is the
No.
same way they said the only reason the Raptors won was because KD got injured,
Yeah,
right?
we
It's the
don't.
same
Yeah,
thing.
that's
But
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 there's years of examples of this every
yeah,
year
but
almost, man.
hold on. Speaking of the Raptors, all right, seeing two small market teams, teams that have been building for the last 5 to 6 years, right? Does this give you hope from what you see for the current Raptors?
Well, I think once again, the whole thing about this playoff is it's not about superstars. It's not about
Bruh.
being flashy and stuff. It's about building a team coherently that makes sense, that fits together, that can be underneath this new salary cap that allows for parity in the league, and that teams that are reliant more and doing things team ways. I mean the Pacers passing system is something maybe a little similar to Darko's passing system for the Raptors. And I honestly think that in some ways the Raptors have more talent on their team,
Yep,
and if we can run that kind of a passing system, we could you can forecast ahead that the Raptors could be very, very successful as they gel and get more time together, running a passing kind of team-oriented system like the Pacers. Because look, what did the Pacers do in this finals? They had like 8 guys averaging double digits or
yep,
something.
yep.
So it's like the Raptors can have that ability to do that also with their personnel, is what
That's
I'm saying.
I
So.
agree. It gives me hope for the Raptors, right? And I'm not a Raptors fan, you know that, right? But I don't know.
Oh, you've could fool me with all the jerseys behind you, though.
But it does give me hope because I love my city, right?
Yeah.
Just to see these younger Raptors and seeing that them being like behind OKC, behind Indiana, and the same way they built, it looks like the same way the Raptors are building. So I know fair weather fans are like, go land a big fish, go land a bunch of big fish, win a championship right now. We should have kept Siakam, whatever. Just look at the system and look at the way these two teams took over the NBA Finals. All the other teams that you thought were going to make the NBA Finals, they did not. The two teams that a lot of people did not think would make the NBA Finals, well, guess what? They did. And the Raptors have all the pieces, all the value, all the parts, right, to get there eventually, not now, eventually, if they were to stick to what they're doing and follow the blueprint. Because let's face it, this is the new NBA. I've said it before. We're starting to shift away from teams becoming reliant on just the three-pointer, right? Now it's more depth and the whole team playing. Okay, I've said this once, I'll say it again. Right now, we're at the beginning of that phase, and this game seven just proved it, right? So, Raptors fans, have hope. And Lex, before we get out of here, buddy, it's a late night. We're
Yeah,
burning
man.
the candle on both ends, man. Do you have anything left to say before we get out of here, brother?
I just want to say this has been a great NBA season, and I really enjoyed the finals, and I appreciated doing these collaboration reactions with you, King. And
Same
thank
here.
you to Arturis for producing. And everybody, check me out, 9:30 a.m. on YouTube Eastern, every single day. I've been on a streak for almost 4 years now. And
Yep.
talking Raptors every single morning on YouTube, Raptorsfreak. Just look me up.
Make sure you guys check that out. Thank you guys for your support for To The Point. I hope you guys all out there all enjoyed this 2024-2025 NBA season, and especially these 7 games of the finals, right? Uh, I think it was great. It was very refreshing to see over the last stagnant couple years the way it's been. And I hope we can look forward to the 2025-2026 season. But first, let's get into the drafts. We're not going to do that. That's next for coming up on the docket. Okay, so you guys hold out. So on behalf of myself, the lyrical Leviathan Lex, your Raptors freak, myself, the king, the greatest producer alive, Arcturus, To The Point family, Raptors freak crew, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good night, and peace.
Peace.